We are going to talk about a very dark corner of the internet, of TikTok. It's called Kinktok. And this is where a bunch of deranged people with niche sexual proclivities and fetishes come together to discuss all of their interests and bond over them, and also force their weird fetishes onto the public instead of keeping them in private in the bedroom where we were promised they would be kept. And researching this on the company Wi-Fi was an experience.
I'm picturing Mary getting a phone call from like Tim, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
just need an explanation.
just like, if you've got one, that's fine.
Yeah.
But can you please tell me why you were looking this
I'll
up?
just send him the link to this video.
Yes.
So some people believe that Kinktok came about as a community to replace Tumblr after porn was banned on Tumblr. But this says, despite attitudes towards non-normative sex becoming more open and accepting, there's still a lot of stigma surrounding kink practices. With that in mind, TikTok can be a great way to present kinks in an approachable and lighthearted way that people can relate to. So people make educational videos.
Like the one you tried to show me yesterday that I put the kibosh on?
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
You make educational videos about your kinks and proclivities and fetishes and paraphilias, and they're totally not advertisements for your OnlyFans. Just thought I would say that. They're totally not promoting all of these TikTokers' OnlyFans that is linked in their bio. It's not that. It's educating people because they are so-called sexperts. I hate that word exists.
Sexperts.
And even though overtly sexualized content is outright against TikTok's terms of service, the hashtag Kinktok still has nearly 1 million posts.
Well, it's kind of like all the people who try to skirt around YouTube's rules by making the videos about breastfeeding.
Right, exactly. There are nearly 1 million posts and billions, I'm sure, of impressions on Kinktok. And this is overtly sexualized content. It says any overtly sexualized content is not eligible to be recommended in the For You page. This would include content that depicts implied nudity, sexualizes body parts, is blatantly erotic or sensual, and you also cannot do borderline or suggestive content that is also ineligible to be pushed in the algorithm. And a lot of people say that they've had their content removed for educational, even if it's for educational purposes, or if it has nothing to do with kinks.
Yeah.
And that's why they're fear-mongering about kink misinformation spreading like wildfire through TikTok, where people are promoting things that are outright illegal.
It said Kinktok is rife with misinformation, and here's why that's bad.
Yeah, Kinktok is bad, I would say. How about we just keep all of that off of a platform where we know children are unsupervised consuming content. But yeah, like one of these kinks that is promoted and talked about openly on Kinktok is called CNC, aka consensual non-consent, which basically means R word.
Yeah.
And it means, apparently, according to some, that one must give up having a safe word in a prearranged signal.
To truly make it, that's disturbing.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things that's being promoted here. More so than any of that, what bothers me is people are taking this into the real world.
Okay.
One of these Kinktok influencers goes by Eve Iris. She almost certainly has an OnlyFans. She has 6.1 million likes and 375K followers on the platform. She posted a video that got a huge response.
209
in April.
209K likes and 15.8K comments.
Yeah.
Saved 32,000 times.
Yeah.
Reposted 181,000 times.
So here she is in this video with her boyfriend in a Walmart engaging in I don't even know what to call this, role play.
So she's cross-eyed?
She is cross-eyed.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was actually thinking about...
About what, princess?
Well, now I can't think.
Oh no.
Okay.
That just it made me want to projectile vomit onto the
Why
screen.
do you do this to yourself? Like you always insist on like looking into stuff that you just absolutely hate. It's you like I picture you every day
Look.
putting on your hazmat suit before you join the internet.
How are we going to do this show without it, encountering man-made horrors beyond your comprehension? This is the only way, Brett.
Okay.
So here are some of the comments. One said, "My stomach did the thing, organ failure."
Yeah, I saw that.
"My stomach did the thing, diarrhea." Yeah, he sounds like a Discord mod. It's giving kitten, like Discord kitten vibes. The pudgy baby hands and the sound of his flip-flops.
Yeah. His hands were like he didn't exactly have like masculine hands.
They called them pink ravioli.
Like it would have been
hands.
funnier if he had like Cheeto dust on them when he did it.
And that would have been fitting, actually.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're making some huge, production out of it and attracting a bunch of attention to themselves. But just the fact that they're doing this in public and then they're posting it for other people to see.
Because out
they
of context, it
probably
doesn't.
scripted it.
Out of context, it doesn't look. No, yeah, absolutely. But out of context, it doesn't look like anything, and it looks innocuous. In context, when you're watching it, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
And
But I still had to see it against my will. So what's the difference between seeing it in person and seeing it on my For You page? It's not all that different. I still had to be subjected to your cringy relationship against my will. So now everyone watching this show right now has to. Another one of these influencers compared her BDSM relationship to marriage.
this one,
It's she wears a collar.
not this one.
She says, "The thought of taking a man's last name 3 years ago."
Oh my god! Oh my god.
Being collared and owned by a man today?
Okay.
So we live in a day and age where women would rather be treated like a pet than be married to a man.
I don't know if I find this more. I think cringier is when they make the really really academic attempts to explain this stuff.
Like what?
Like if I had to listen to a video about them talking about dom versus sub in some clinical manner.
Oh, they do.
Like I know, I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I actually think that that's cringier than this. They just speak to different demographics.
Yeah, there's one of those that's in the Vice article where
There's a 20 there.
Mountain Lou said, "This is not what I wanted to view today. Take my money anyway, though." Thank you. And you're welcome for exposing you to this. But yeah, one of the TikToks in the Vice article is this girl talking about her recommendations for aftercare for after you've had kinky sex and you need to emotionally recover from it. All of that aside, if you feel traumatized after doing something, it probably isn't a good thing to do. I'm just gonna say that if you need to emotionally,
Do you feel
recover from something
traumatized
where
after
you're
watching this stuff?
Traumatized from it. Well, I mean, I feel like I've already seen it all. I'm not like shocked by any of this stuff anymore. You can't really faze me anymore.
Okay.
It's just like I feel like this shouldn't be on a platform like TikTok. Maybe they can go into
it's impossible.
seedy forum somewhere
This
where
would-
there aren't any children.
Practically, it's impossible to govern something like this because it wouldn't set off any algorithmic traps. Mm-hmm. Like there's no part of the algorithm that would flag anything like that.
I hate that people make this into a personality trait. You're substituting the fact that you're kinky for having an actual personality.
I don't know if I even buy most of this stuff being as a result of trauma. I think a lot of it is just people have found something that works and then it becomes audience capture and you start making more and more content like that. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are doing research on stuff like this to make more engaging content in this particular subculture.
Well, it's also definitely because of the influence of porn
Yes.
and the fact that the lines are blurring between mainstream social media content and actual porn and the influence that that's having on their audiences. But I just see that they think that they're in some kind of community
That's
around their sexual proclivities. And it's just like, you're not actually that interesting. You know, like that's what I thought with the Army Hammer thing. He's texting all of these women that he wants to like barbecue their ribs and that he has like a kink for like eating human flesh. And I'm just thinking like, these are the words of a trust fund baby who never developed a personality and has never read a book. And he thinks that having a cannibal fetish is the same thing as having a personality trait. It's not.
I think a lot of it is also like these types of things have always existed. So this existed in decades past. The only difference was before the internet, the barrier to entry into communities like this meant that you had to actually be really, really invested and engaged in it if you wanted to get involved, right? So it had to actually be something that you cared about.
It also meant you weren't trying to initiate other people and also children,
Correct.
may I emphasize, into it.
Like, I imagine there's people here who are like, you're a poser. You're not.
Right. Like, like this is some kind of subculture, as if it were like becoming like goth. It's like, you're a poser, you don't listen to the right bands.
Nothing has been hurt more than subcultures by the internet.
Yeah.
Like the internet has destroyed a lot of subcultures because it raises its visibility and gives more people access to it, but also makes it easier for people to just come in and water down whatever it is that you're engaging in.
I also think there's like this wannabe edgy aspect of it where people want to kind of signal to random strangers that this is the kind of thing they engage in behind closed doors without overtly saying so. In this video from one who calls herself Neurospicy Link, she by the way calls herself a professional dom. She talks about people staring at her at the gym because of her kink gear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Which, by the way, again, you should not record yourself at the gym for any reason at all, but especially not this. It's like the prime territory for like people who are attention starved, and you'll see why.
So I'm at the gym, and I think someone noticed my key. I also think they noticed my fire cupping marks on my back. They were staring at me in more than hot girl in the gym.
No one thought you were hot.
Okay.
No one thought you were hot, lady.
It's like me saying they were staring at me because I'm so tall.
So I was just at the skate park. People were staring at me in like more than a hot guy at the skate park way.
In more than tallest dude at the skate park sort of way, as I'm like 5'5". So yeah, that was about the same level of lie.
Yeah, so what I found out after digging through the comment section is she thinks that people look at her key necklace and immediately know it's the key to her boyfriend's cage.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
No one thinks that. You're not interesting. You're not edgy.
If you were interesting,
no one cares what you do.
You would have.
Home.
If you were interesting, you'd have $1 million locked away in a bus station locker, and that would be the key to that locker. That would be interesting. You'd have $1 million in drug money stashed away at a bus stop locker.
Right, but these people aren't interesting, which is why they use their degenerate proclivities in the bedroom in substitute of having an actual personality or having any skills or any real interests whatsoever.
It's kind of a boomer take, but it is a lot of true. It's like having being non-binary or having pronouns is in lieu of having an actual interesting personality. It's
if you have a power washing TikTok, you are 1,000 times more interesting than this person.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.